Hi everyone, welcome back to Show Me How to Win. We're visiting New York Toy Fair 2020 and we're checking out the Pyramid Quartet. So we're at Looney Labs and next to me is Andrew Looney.
Hi everyone, good to meet you.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of Pyramid. Do we have it here?
Yes. Pyramid Arcade is the original box set with 22 of these games.
Right. And this was Kickstarted as well, right?
Yeah, 4 years ago, yep.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of the Pyramid Arcade. It's a system of games, if you will. There's all these pyramids in there, and you can play many different formats of games in there, and the fans have come up with many different formations too, right?
Oh yeah, there are hundreds of games that have been invented for these pyramids. I did about 30 myself, but there are literally close to 500 that are registered on a website out there.
And you guys put out a sequel, Pyramid Quartet. So tell us about it.
Okay, well, Pyramid Quartet is a set of 4 individual box games, little boxes you can carry anywhere, each focused on one of those games from Pyramid Arcade. And they also stand as expansions. So if you want more pyramids for Pyramid Arcade, you can get these to get expansion pieces, but they also provide a great entry point for people who are new to the system because they can pick one game and just get that, and then they could upgrade to the whole arcade later on. And the pieces will be a sort of expansion that way too.
Right. And Andrew, you designed and created all these, right?
I did. I created the system itself in the late 80s and lots of the games. I did about 20 of the 22 games in Pyramid Arcade and all of these except for Homeworlds, the heavy-duty strategy game. Yeah.
I really like the artwork. What is the inspiration behind this art style?
Well, the original packaging, again, for Pyramid Arcade was done for us by a design studio named Other Studio out of Chicago. And we hired them to give us a cool kind of retro look, and they did just a great job with it. And then for the arcade, I actually myself kind of adapted their art. They kind of showed me the way, and then I worked with the system that they designed and kind of created more elements. But it's sort of a mixed bag that way. But I think it's really, really good. People are liking it.
Yeah, I think you guys did a great job. So, Nomids, Ice Duo, Martian Chess, and Homeworlds. From what I understand, Nomids and Ice Duo are sort of entry level, like less difficult. Martian Chess is sort of like in the middle, and Homeworlds is the most difficult one, right?
Yes. So we're trying to have there be kind of a range of game options. So depending on what kind of game you like, there's going to be something for everyone. So Nomids is very simple, very easy. Anybody can play, and it works with a nice big crowd, 2 to 10. But it's basically a luck kind of game. Ice Duo is a little more complicated, and it's actually 2 games in one. So that's very cool too, because it kind of pushes that system element. You get 2 different games, but they're both luck games. One is luck, and one is hidden information. And then we get to the next ones, like you said, the harder ones. Martian Chess is pure strategy, but it's still pretty easy. It's kind of a chess variant, but with a twist that'll kind of bend your brain. And then Homeworlds, which is my favorite, is an epic, really complicated game. Just uses the pyramids on a tabletop, but with those it tells an epic interstellar space battle game that is just it's amazing. It's my favorite, but it's very difficult to learn.
Right. And I've had a little preview yesterday. Basically, depending on how many pages are in the instructions, you know how difficult it is. So there is like a couple pages in this one.
Most of them are just these little sort of brochure level of pyramid, but then Homeworlds is a whole booklet, 32 pages of detail on how you play that game. Now, a lot of it is strategy information, but there's a lot to learn on Homeworlds.
Right. So I love strategy. Today we're here to check out Martian Chess. This is kind of like not the most difficult one, but not the easiest one. So for me, it's the one that I'm most interested in. So tell me how to play.
It's a good entry level if you're into strategy games. Yeah. So here's how it works. There are 3 kinds of pieces, as you all of the pyramid games, of course, use three sizes. And in this game, they have a point value. So the number of pips on the piece is how many points it'll be worth at the end of the game. Now, there's no checkmate or anything like that in this game. It's simply points. I'm trying to capture the most points that I can before the game ends. And the game ends when one side runs out of pieces. But the really interesting thing about this game, you'll notice all the pieces are the same color. So how do you know whose piece is who? And the answer is position. If it's on my side of the board, it's my piece. And as soon as a piece moves to the other side of the board, it becomes your piece. And this is where it's really tricky because I can cross the border with a piece to take one of your pieces. And you might think, aha, now I can just take that piece back. But no, you can't because it's your piece now.
Oh, I see. That's what the twist is about.
That is what the twist is. That's the thing that makes people's brains go, whoa! Especially if you're like a hardcore chess player. You know, the better you are at regular chess, the harder it's going to be for you to get your brain around Martian chess.
So sounds like, so just from from you just showed me, I'm guessing probably the strategy is to know what piece to sacrifice to capture. So you basically have to lose some of your pieces, but then hopefully you get something bigger, more points on your side, right? So tell us how to win.
Here are some of my tips for how to win. First, you want to keep your eyes on the prize. Always remember that you're just trying to get points. So anytime I can capture a point, I want to think it might be beneficial, even if it's just a trade. Because if I can get ahead on my score, then any trade drives me closer to victory, but with me in the lead, you know? And in fact, once we've done a lot of back and forth trades and the board starts to thin out, then if I'm ahead, I do what I advise what I call the run for the border, which is why I try to get rid of the rest of my pieces as quickly as I can, because if I'm ahead, I can empty out my board and win that way. But now, the dangers to this game are what I call the double whammy, which is that I take a piece of yours and then I forget that you can immediately use that against me to take one of my pieces. So you want to be looking for how to use that to your advantage. Like, well, let's look at some of the board here. So
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So do you have to use the larger pieces to capture small pieces, or it doesn't matter? Okay,
no,
any piece can capture any piece.
Capture any piece. Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
Okay.
So, and I haven't really even talked about this, the way the pieces move. So,
let's talk about that.
The small pieces are like pawns in regular chess. They move one space at a time.
Okay.
But they're also kind of like bishops. They can only move diagonally, and they can go forward and backward. So they're kind of like a bishop pawn. The medium ones are called drones, and they're kind of like a limited rook. They can only move orthogonally, forward and backward, non-diagonally, but they can also only move one or two spaces at a time. Then the big ones are queens, just like regular queens, any distance, any direction. So if you move to there, I can then capture that piece, and and I'd have 1 point. Now you might think I can use this. Yeah, like I say, you might think you could capture it, but what's now it's set up good for me. I could take this piece, assuming you did something else and it was still there. If I take that piece, I get 2 points. But this is the double whammy. You can immediately then capture back and get a 3-point piece from mine. And that's the kind of trading you always have to be looking ahead for what will be the biggest point gain for me after we might do a bunch of back and forths.
Can you show me what run to the border means?
Oh yeah. So well, let's assume it's later in the game, and so we're down most of our pieces. I don't know who's ahead, but it doesn't matter.
I'm ahead. I'm ahead.
Well, if you're ahead, then you're the one who's going to be wanting to try to make the run for the border. So because you have more points. So if you can, anytime you can move a piece across the border, and that's one of the things too. Again, pieces change ownership when they move across. So like I might want to move a piece there and then set it up to take it, and also then empty out my side of the board. Because if I make the move that empties the board, even if we're tied, I win.
So on my side of the board, there are no more pieces. So game ends when there's no pieces on one side. However, I have more points here. You have less. So even though you have the bigger pieces on your board, these don't count as points.
Yep, they're left over. They don't matter. What matters is the pieces that were captured. Yeah.
Okay. I see what run. I was thinking run for the border to the side, but you're running for the border to the other side.
Empty out your side so that the game will be over with you in the lead. Yeah.
Is there a way to combat that?
Oh, yeah. Well, if I see you running out of pieces, I then want to push mine back across the border. And that's often a good way to get ahead, too, is if I can push something across the border and make it a target. Because once it becomes your piece, I want to take it for the points.
Oh, can you go backwards? Like,
Oh yeah. The only limitation is I can't directly undo the thing you just did, but I can move it back and forth to any other spot on your side. Yeah.
Wait, I mean, can I move your pieces towards my side?
Oh, no. You can't move anything on my side of the board. Yeah, once it's over there, it's mine. You can't touch it except to take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So that is Martian chess. That's really interesting. You're right. It is kind of like chess, but there's a twist to it, and the movement is inspired by chess, but the strategy is really completely different. So chess players really have to kind of change the way they think.
They do. You have to kind of unlearn some of the things you know from chess to play this game.
Right. All right, so we're not going to cover how to play Homeworlds and how to win because there's a booklet you can read, but there is a special challenge about this game. Tell us about it.
Oh, that's true. Well, I like to ask people, what's your deal? What's that guy's deal, And because I have a great answer when somebody says, what's my deal? So,
what's your deal?
Well, my deal is if you can beat me in a game of Homeworlds, I will give you a medal. And I actually have one of them here somewhere. Hold on. Here it is.
How many people have beaten you so far?
19 as of this recording. And so, yes, this medal, this actual beautiful medal with the Homeworlds logo on one side, it says on the back, I beat Andy Looney in a game of Homeworlds. These are very rare and special. Because this game is so hard to learn, I'm trying to create what I call a gunslinger culture around challenging me. So I challenge anyone who wants to learn this game. If you can beat me, I will give you one of these medals. And that is my deal.
In order to do that, though, first you have to have Pyramid, or if you don't have it, you have to back. So Pyramid Quartet has already been funded under 3 hours as soon as you launch it.
Yep.
So it is, as of today, on Kickstarter right now. But by the time we air this, you can still probably late pledge, right?
Oh, yeah. If it's already closed, you can late pledge. And this will be coming available in stores later. But yeah, late pledging will be available too.
All right. Cool. Thank you so much, Andy, for showing me how to play, how to win at Martian Chess, showing me everything, telling me your inspiration of the art and the design. And thank you guys for watching.
Thank you so much.